Green on. There we go. Hello everybody, it's me again. Could you believe it? Guess who didn't throw this morning? Me. So now I have to throw really late at night. Not fun, but that's what you gotta do. I just got back, so you can see I'm covered in clay, but I still gotta make my videos for today, or the pots for today, and then I gotta edit. But anyway, I'm gonna get right into it. I don't want to be up really late at night, so I'm just gonna start throwing now, and I'm not gonna do the intro, but you will see me in a second. All right, green off, green off. I hate when it doesn't work right away. You know what happens is it captures phrases, so if I don't pause in between, it automatically just, shuts off. To find this little bump, really slow like a slug, right up the side of your pot. Allow the clay to sort of fall into place. I have some, do you see how I had some of it come off? So like, look at this stuff right here. So this stuff, you guys can't really see it maybe, but sometimes when you're pulling up, some of the clay just separates off. Like, don't stop, right? Just continue up that pull, and usually you'll be okay. The problems occur when you try to, like, when it makes you nervous. Just allow it to totally just come off, Like, don't try to, like, fix whatever happened. Just let it. The less complicated you make your pull, the better, okay? Like, when you have to, like, go back and work around things, that's when things are going to come off, right? Okay, again, we're defining this little bottom, being really nice and slow. Taking these fingers up. Okay, so I could feel the clay is not totally level there. So I'm going to just take some more time and allow it to make one more nice rotation before I go up. Because I don't want it to get totally off. Let me get on this top edge here. Oh, there we go. Look at that. There we go. Nice. Okay. You got a nice pull here. We're going to work on this top edge just a little bit, get it thinned out nice and even. Great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we emphasize, 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 emphasize. Okay. And we actually want this collapse to collapse a little bit lower. So we're going to take our sponge, add a little bit of water, and we're going to emphasize at the bottom a little bit more, right? So we can create a little bit more of a weakness there. So it's going to want to twist lower potentially, right? It really depends on thickness too of your clay, right? So here we are, we're on the inside here. We're going to slowly start pushing this out and allow it, like again, to make one full rotation, and we're slowly bringing this out. And we're just going to let that hang out right on that edge, that off, and here we're going to first start our first curl up, and it's really important to allow the twist to happen rather than to force it to happen, right? When you force it to happen, it's going to look janky, right? Think about when you're making handles, right? The less you touch your handles, the better they're going to look, right? The more you touch them, 9 times out of 10, you're just going to add room or potential for inconsistencies between each time you touch it, right? And so the less you touch it, usually I feel like the better these things turn out. Also, I'm going to dip this down over, okay? And then we want them to almost touch. There we go. And we'll curl this one up over. Look at that. I like the look of that one, yo. I feel like that one has some good energy behind it. We gotta ask the clay, hey Clay, you got anything for us down here? The clay says, yeah bro, I got a nice bump to give you. Oh really? What do you want me to do with this bump? I want you to take it to the top of the pot, and that's it. Okay, I can do that. Alright, here we are. We're taking that right up to the top of the pot. Really let the breath of your lines come through during your pull, right? Slowly feed that up, right? That slug right on the side of the pot going to find its next meal, you know? That's what you're really thinking about. A little bit of hair in my mouth. Oh, it's on that side. Okay, great. Right to the bottom, and it's going to peek out. It's going to say hello again. All right, buddy. The bump all the way to the top again? Sure thing. We're going all the way to the top, guys. Take some breaths, you know. Don't hold your breath when you're finishing your pot here. Oh my gosh, look at that pull, dudes. That up. Slowly lead that up. Slowly lead that up. Slowly lead that up. Slowly lead that up. Okay. And so you see how it's going to be a low collapse? And then, oh, it already collapsed there. So now we got another opportunity for a collapse here on the top. Okay, and also if I'm looking at this, look at the way that it's wanting to collapse, not in the right spot. So I'm going to emphasize and try to level out the line in which I'm going to be spreading out, right? Really be slow with it, guys. Really be slow with that. Alright, let's stop the twist. I mean, guys. That is one wacky looking pot. In the middle somehow, because we had 11. So I think that will look okay. Look at that. Little flowers right on the bottom there. Camera C? So let's see if I can show you guys this. Like, you see those little petals and stuff? I think they look really cool. And so here's the pot. You can see it's almost dipping down too. Watch this, camera B. Camera B. Right, you can kind of see it starting to tilt. It's tearing on the interiors. Bring that up. Oh, you want to see do you want to see the whole thing in C? I think you probably do. Okay, camera C. Camera C. Okay. I'll try my best. Sometimes, since it's a vertical format, sometimes it gets cut off, so I apologize in advance. All right, anyway, I always think that this first part is like 2 lanes of traffic. You know, you got your oncoming traffic and your outgoing traffic, and they come across each other, and then that's how you keep things on center, right? When you start to like use your fingers to push things in the middle, like that's when it's not gonna get center. You know, you're gonna have to use a lot more force. So you really go past center, right? And when your 2 hands go past it, like I said, in that ongoing and oncoming traffic, you know, that's when the things really start to flow. Again, you can see my palms in my hand. You don't even need to use your fingers. Keep those fingers out, and you can bring that clay upwards, right? Look at that. I didn't even use my fingers. I already got the clay upwards quite a bit. Also, like, look, I have, like, this is all right here. Like, this stuff in here is all, like, slip. It's not, like, water. Just get some more water whenever. Don't be throwing with just, like, clay, because your sponge is going to get, like, clay logged, and it's not going to be able to, like, take moisture out of the bottoms. So I always just try to get some refresh on some, like, water there whenever I feel like it's getting too thick, right? Take some of that water right out of the base. Squeeze that out. Get right to the bottom. Squeeze that out. Okay, great. Okay, now we're going to make the little tendrils. So here I am. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we're going up. Emphasizing, 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 emphasizing. Look at that, right? I'm going to do it maybe one more time around, and I think I got to make sure I get this last one carved in a little bit nicer. Great. I'm slowly banking them out. I call this a spider pull, because you're slowly spreading your fingers outward as you're going out, right? You're spreading those fingers apart. I have one bump that's a little bit awkward right there, but that's okay. We're going to slow it down right before we take our fingers out. Look at that. Okay. You know, kiss the rim with your fingers there, but you don't want to add pressure, right? It's like, imagine, you know, you're like trying to touch and feel the petal of a flower, right? Like a petunia or something. You know, you don't want to destroy the petunia petal. You just are curious about how it felt, you know? That's kind of how I think about that rim. Pull here, and we're actually going to do one of these. We're going to keep it wide so we have some nice contrast. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to just push my fingers in. You know, find that rhythm, right? And then take it through the whole pot, and there you go, right? Then we'll emphasize that a little bit, right? Just so you can make it a little bit neater. And sometimes these like to fall, so if you just give it that extra little bump, all of a sudden it will stay in its spot. Anyway, go right down to the bottom here. Take some of that clay off that bottom edge. Look at that, looking nice. Take this clay slip off that edge. And here's a reveal for this pot. Camera B. Look at that, right? So, like I said, this one's a lot shorter, so you'll see kind of how they look like in a second. But we got pot number 1 here. Yo, this one right here I think is doing something really cool. If I'm looking at this one, I see those 2 little tendrils meeting their hands together. I always think that you can really bake some life into the pots, right? You have the foot of the pot, you have the neck of the pot, you have the belly of the pot. Why don't we just like give the pot some attitude then, right? And so I think when you start activating that by using the surface in the form, I think that's actually a really cool one. Next off, we got this one that's collapsing. You know, the collapse is whatever, right, on the top edge, but I'm telling you that twist, I hope that you guys can see that, like when that twist happened, because I thought that one was really cool. I mean, that one was probably the tallest pot today, but now look, it's probably one of the smallest, right? But it's all based on that collapse that's happening there. And if we look upwards, yeah, we got the most basic one of the day, but I think there's a nice little contrast. You always need the mundane to highlight the extraordinary. But thank you so much for watching. All the best and strong mentality.